guys get John and Matthew back tomorrow?
Yeah, that'd be huge. They looked good in practice today, so I don't know what the status is, but obviously two guys that play significant roles on our team, so it would be great.
Looks like they're loading up McDavid and Draisaitl together. What's the challenge when those guys are on the same line?
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. As always, they're both, incredible players. When they play together, obviously, they have great chemistry. They move the puck well. They're dynamic. They're tough to contain. So you just got to try to keep them in front of you as much as possible. Defend hard. It takes a 5-man unit out there to defend those guys.
You gotten to know Connor a little better doing the commercials and things with him now? Like, you guys have more of a friendship than you maybe did before?
Yeah. I mean, we played together in the World Cup pretty early on. In both of our careers, I guess, and then just spent time over the years, I guess, All-Star games, stuff like that, different situations. But yeah, I mean, I had a ton of respect for him, and great person, obviously a very special player.
What was it like shooting the commercial? Connor was saying some long days.
Yeah, definitely some long days, but it made it a little bit easier to have someone there with you and going through it all. But in the end, it was fun to look back on, and kind of seeing him come out with the with the commercials and stuff, and just the history of that particular one. I mean, it's pretty cool. So.
How often do you eat your burger?
I tried it once. That's it. Yeah, got to stay on point during the season.
Yeah. He talked about how after your first 60-goal season that he tried to be more like you in some ways, to take stuff from your game and take it into his game. Have you ever been able to take anything from how he plays into your game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at different things. It'd be great if I could take the way he skates and just plug it into my game. That'd be nice. But obviously, it's there's probably only one other guy or two other guys in the world that can do that. So I think you always look at some of the best players in the league and try to pick up different things, whether it's with the puck or without, different routes. But he's obviously. Who he is for a reason, and his work ethic and what he does to consistently be the player that he is obviously very impressive. So
they got John Klingberg on the other side now. What stood out most to you about his time as a Leaf, and what do you make of his effort to come back and be a player in this league?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a little bit of a roller coaster for him with us last year, and just not really being healthy. And the couple months that you played with him, got to be around him a lot. He's a great guy, great teammate, a lot of fun to be around. It's good to see him seemingly healthy and back playing in the NHL.
What does it mean to be named captain of the U.S. team?
It means a lot. It's a special honor, obviously, to represent your country, and to have that honor is just huge. A lot of guys on that team wear letters for their respective teams, so I don't think it's it could have been a lot of options, a lot of different guys, but to have that honor, it's very special.
Do you feel a little bit more prepared for that role, having been captain here now for a little bit?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I don't think too much really changes. My approach, who I am on a day-to-day basis, doesn't really change. I just want to continue to push myself to be the best that I can every night. Like I said, the group of guys that we have, on that team and in this locker room as well, it goes for both. A lot of leaders on their teams respectively, and I think collectively as a leadership group, that's how you try to approach it.
How does your leadership style evolve in the last little while, or has it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's evolved every single year. Just try to, be a better version of myself than I was the year prior. And, fortunately, we got guys that have been around for a long time that I can lean on and talk to. And, like I said, it's not just, one guy making all the decisions. It's kind of a collective thing. And, we have a veteran group, so it's pretty easy to communicate, with different guys and get a feel for different things.
A lot of Americans over the years have said that Canada was the team they wanted to beat more than anybody, right? There's always been a rivalry between American hockey and Canadian hockey. You haven't had as much of that, right? Because they've kind of taken two Olympics out of your wheelhouse, and even the World Cup of hockey wasn't that. Do you have much of a rivalry, or do you have a sense of the American rivalry with Canadian hockey?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, in my time at the national program, you played Canada a ton, and you play all these countries, but obviously boarding with them, and it's rivalry that goes back a long time. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to play in that and experience that.
anything you can say from coming back from injury once already this season that you can kind of apply now, or do you feel more comfortable because you've already been through it once?
Yeah, I mean it's a challenge, stepping back into it, not having too many team practices. I only have one under my belt before the game tomorrow. So I think just sticking to the simple things, that was giving me success. Before I got injured, stuff like that. Just kind of going over it in my head a lot is going to help me. But yeah, I think that gives me confidence that I came back strong from the last one. So hopefully I could do the same here.
Looks like they're going to load up McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line. It's both guys, of course, are a challenge on their own. What's it like when they're playing together, do you think?
Yeah, I mean they're obviously incredible players. Some of the best in the league, and yeah, I think we're going to have to do a good job defending them, and I think we want to make them defend. I think when we're playing offense, it's going to help our team. So if we can make them defend as much as possible, it's going to help us.
A couple earlier start times on this trip because you're out west, 5 tomorrow, 4 on next Saturday. Do you like that? What does it change much?
I guess with the time change, it's just like a 7 o'clock game for us, right? So. It's nothing crazy, You focus the same way, prepare the same way, and I think we'll be just fine.
Auston gets the C for Team USA. How have you noticed him change as a leader, if at all, now that he wears the captain C in here too?
Yeah, I mean, even seeing him last year, before I got the C here, you could tell that he was a leader and that he was the one that kind of led the bus, and. So, I don't think many things have changed. I think he's very vocal and obviously someone that, everyone takes example to. So he's done a great job, and, I congratulate him for getting the captain there.
He said he's not a rah-rah guy. In which ways is he kind of vocal?
Yeah, I mean, just like for me, being on a line with him, it's little things on the bench. Obviously, being a younger player with, limited experience, it's nice to have someone, kind of, show me the way and be vocal in my ear, and he's really helped me a lot. So.
How would you describe your level of interest in the 4 nations? You got teammates on all 4 teams.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I think it's been fun. It's been a long time since the best players have played against each other. So I think it's exciting for everyone to watch.
How would you describe what happened? It seemed kind of an innocuous play there with Chris.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate circumstances just in the corner, and he's skating the one way, and his foot just kind of clips me, but it kind of drags me at the same time, where traditionally usually just kind of clips you. And it kind of hooked my leg and stretching me out pretty good. So I was a little nervous with how my leg was stretching out, my left one, and then kind of shifted all my weight to my right, and the foot just got stuck on the ice, and with all my weight there, just obviously wasn't a great result, but is what it is, and medical staff performance has been tremendous, and just getting me to this point today. So just happy to be back with the group and pushing to get back out there.
What's the challenge mentally? I mean, you're having such a great season. You get thrown a curveball like that, like the balance of disappointment versus switching immediately to okay, let's rehab.
Yeah, I mean, not playing sucks, and competing and being a part of what you work so hard to do all summer long, all training camp, all throughout the year, and enjoying the 82 game grind and doing what you need to do to be available on a nightly basis. But you just try to shift right to the positive and go to work on the mindset and the attitude you need to have to get a little better every day, and the advantage of to having some downtime, able to do different things, and obviously just get really as focused as you can be on the rehab and therapy side of it to get back healthy. So just try to look at it from that standpoint, and just do everything I can to get back as soon as I can, and obviously come back to, when I come back to play well.
It's been a while since you missed time like this. What's the key to hitting the ground running when you come back?
I think it's just getting one thing at a time, one day at a time. Very cliche, but not trying to look at the big picture or think about the circumstances you're dealing with or time frame or things like that. It's just trying to find all the wins on a daily basis and diving into that and what I need to do to accomplish that, and stay focused on what I can control, and like I said, how I can just get a little bit better, and using the time that I have to my advantage. So that's just where I tried to keep it. And obviously when you feel steps and you progress, obviously really good. Getting back on the ice is always a great feeling, and then obviously rejoining the group you're getting real close and inching there. So yeah, it's been a good process, and like I said, medical and performance staff have been phenomenal, doing everything they can to give me what I need to get better.
Anything stick out about the way that the team is playing when you're allowed to remove yourself from the grind of it for a little bit?
I mean, we've had some really good efforts, performances, obviously against some really good teams, and a couple games maybe a little bit unfortunate, and at times we're working through when things aren't always going your way or playing well, and you gotta deal with adversity at times, and it's a long season, and it's just continuing to stay with it to find ways to be consistent and get better. So obviously we haven't been in the win column the last little bit, so I think we got to find a way to get a result however we do that. But overall, the group's doing a good job.
What do you think it would be like to jump in tomorrow night, Saturday night, some decent talent on the other side? What would that be like?
Yeah, it'll be a challenge, that's for sure. So, I think playing against a team like Edmonton, or certainly the players that they have, it's always unbelievable to play against the best and what they can do, and certainly what they accomplished last year, and the type of team that they have, and obviously the high-end talent and their ability to be who they are and what they do on a nightly basis. It's always a lot of fun, but one of the toughest tests you get. So, if that's the case, looking forward to it.
Your line in particular had a really good night going head-to-head against McDavid when the Oilers were in Toronto. What do you think you were doing right that night you can carry on if you play tomorrow?
I'm not going to speak on it too much, but I think you're just not one guy or one line. It takes everyone to and a whole team really, because his whether it's Connor or Leon and other guys they have, their ability to maintain high level of play through endurance is exceptional. So everyone's going to see bits and parts of them at different times of the game, and the ebbs and flows and different things that happen, icings, long change in the second period, special teams. It takes everyone just to defend them as a group, not just one or two guys, but creating layers and what they do create. It's difficult to do, and it takes it through not much time and space, and everyone's supporting one another. So you're slowing them down to the best that you can.
Tavares and Knies good to go for tomorrow?
We'll see. I mean, they seem good today, just gotta, like I said, they full practice, felt good, so good chance, but we'll see.
Just how refreshing would that be if they could play with some finishers right in that front?
Yeah, no, for sure. They're both important players for our team in all areas, and when they're out, we miss them, but be great if we get them back for sure. JT down the middle, Knies, the big body, and the net front and all the things he does with that line, and getting JT back with Willie.
Is Tavares ahead of schedule at all, or is this kind of what?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say he's a little bit ahead of schedule. So he kind of he was feeling good early, it wasn't lingering on him so much. So I think that he got ahead of it all, and he did a good job of rehabbing and doing what he needed to do. So he's ahead of schedule.
What are you looking for with the new defense pairs? I guess the old defense pair with Tanev and McCabe there. What went into?
Yeah, I mean, we're going into a pretty good line here tomorrow. We all know that, and we're going to need those two guys to do a good job for us. And I had Caber on right for a bit, and coming off the injury, I didn't feel like he was the same over there. And OEL and Mo played together quite a bit this year, and we need those top four to be really good tomorrow.
Would you like to start to find some continuity there?
Well, it would be nice. There's only so much you can do with injuries and other things, and deep pairs, like guys coming in and out. So we got to move them around at times. That's normal.
You talked about wanting an emotional investment. How easy should that be for your guys Saturday night?
Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers team that just went to the cup.
No, for sure. I think anytime you play the Oilers, you got to be fired up playing against that team. You got to have emotion involved in the game, for sure. They're going to be fired up and they'll be ready to go like always. So, the emotional part of the game is huge, and we got to have that investment for sure, right from the start of the game, right from the start.
Right, when they load McDavid and Draisaitl onto one line together, Is that enough to get a coach's attention to maybe tweak deep pairings or make some substantive changes in your own lineup?
Yes, at times, I think, for sure. The thing when you load that lineup like that, you know how many minutes they're going to play. It's a lot of minutes, and those guys they're very good and used to it, and they can handle it. So I think we've got to be prepared to have two lines to work against those guys in different situations, and maybe two deep pairs too. Depending on the situations, and power plays and penalty kills, that all comes into play too with it all. So, but when they load them up, they're hard to handle for sure, and it's a hard workload for the line and for the deep pair. They make you work for everything. So I think you got to have two lines and 4 deep probably to play against them when they load them up like that.
Stoley's closer to over.
Yeah, he's close. He's feeling really good. Like I said, there's no physical element. He's solid there. It's just the conditioning part and timing part that, getting work. So it's good he had a whole practice today. Murray will go out now and get some work in, and then Stoley will go on the ice tomorrow and get another good work day in.
What's the plan for Hakanpää right now?
Well, he's back in Toronto, skating and doing things there. Really, I don't have a timeline for him. I don't. So.
Auston gets named captain of Team USA. You've only been with him a few months here, but how have you seen him grow as a leader from the time you took this job?
Yeah, I think opening up more, and using his voice more for sure, and just the conversations I have with him, trying to ask him questions about the team himself and what's going on, and getting feedback from him, things like that. So he might not have been in those conversations before as much, not being the captain. Those are conversations that I have with him quite a bit, because he's in the room. He has full investment in what's going on, and I think just his leadership on the ice and his play. He's a hard, he works hard, he competes hard, he gives it all every shift and sets the example.
He said himself that he's not a rah-rah guy. He won't be a rah-rah guy with.
There's a lot of captains that aren't rah-rah guys. Most of them aren't. Yeah. I mean, rah-rah guys are me in the locker room. I mean, the captains, their job is to be good teammates, understand what's going on with the team. If something needs to be said, then they say it. They just don't. It doesn't happen all the time. And lead by example. That's the biggest thing, is go out there and lead by example. Play the right way, play the team way, and look after his teammates. Something's going on with the guy. Help him out, be there for him. Good or bad, that's part of being a captain.
Where do you think there's room for Morgan to grow offensively?
Well, I think just maybe more aggressive for me. Just not being tentative and just get up in a play like he normally does and do his thing offensively. I mean, mistakes happen in the game for everybody, and he can't be focused on mistakes. Focus on use your abilities. He's a good skater. Sees the ice well, gets up the ice. We talked today, had a good talk, just pushing a little bit more, getting up in the play, shooting pucks more, being more aggressive in that area of the ice.
Do you think he was trying to minimize risk maybe?
Well, for sure. I think we asked everybody to minimize risk with how we want to play the game. We don't want to be a risky team, and we want to be a smart hockey team with the puck. But at the same time, he can't pull too far back. He's got to play his game. We got to let him play his game. And like I said, stuff happens, mistakes happen, but just be aggressive and use your abilities.
Is that a tricky thing with him, because he has been such an aggressive player pretty much since he was a kid, right?
Yeah. No, it is for sure. It's finding the sweet spot, as they say.